Good afternoon. Welcome back. We have a fresh pitcher of water there for you and some cups if you want some more water.
Thank you.
I'd like to remind you that you're still under oath, okay?
Okay.
And would you mind pulling that microphone down, the tall one there? Just pull, there you go. All right. Mr. Carlos, you can resume your cross-examination.
Hey, Ms. Doe, before we broke for the lunch this morning, you told this jury a lie. Do you remember that?
Objection argumentative.
Sustained. You do not have to answer that question. You can rephrase.
You told this jury that you don't drink, right? Is that true?
Yes, I did tell.
And that, in fact, is not true. It's a lie. Yes or no?
I didn't drink today.
Question is, you told this jury you haven't drank for 30 years, right? That's what you said. And that is a lie, isn't it?
I haven't drank today.
You haven't drank today. I'm asking you, in the past, isn't it true that you have been arrested numerous times for being drunk in public? Look this jury in the eye, tell them it's true.
Objection argumentative.
Just a moment. Sustained. You do not have to answer that question. The question in its form is argumentative. So, Mr. Carlos, you can rephrase. Go ahead.
Isn't it? You have been drinking for the past 30 years. That's the truth, isn't it?
No.
So so it's still your testimony that you have been sober for 30 years?
I'm not saying I was sober every day for 30 years, but yes, I've done the program for since I was 22, yes.
Okay. So before we broke, you told this jury that you hadn't drank in 30 years. You remember that, don't you? We have a transcript for that.
Objection misstates the evidence.
Sustained. You do not need to answer that question. You can rephrase.
You told them you were sober for 30 years. Remember that?
In all, yes, I have been sober.
So correct me if I'm wrong, sober means not drinking, right?
Right.
And you in fact had been drinking during that period
Objection
of time.
vague as to when.
Overruled as rephrased. You can answer. Do you understand the question?
How do you ask
I'm sorry?
me? How do you ask me again?
Okay, can you rephrase the question?
During that 30-year period, you have in fact been drinking, right?
Yes.
Okay. We talked about on the 20th of January 2019, you were arrested for public intoxication. You recall that, right?
Yes, I recall that.
That was the cough syrup, right?
Yes.
December 31st, 2016, you again were arrested and cited for public intoxication. Is that true?
If it says it on paper, I guess I must have been.
I'm asking you.
No, I
It's not-
wasn't
You weren't drunk.
using.
Pardon?
I wasn't drinking.
You just were unjustly.
I was walking and he pulls over and he asks me questions and he tells me it happened.
Who's he? Police?
Yes.
And you were arrested and cited for public intoxication.
Yes.
But you weren't drunk that time either, right?
I don't remember. No, I wasn't.
Okay. In November 24th of 2016, you were again arrested and cited for public intoxication. You remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
Are you saying it didn't happen?
I just don't remember. I don't remember every day.
Is memory a problem for you?
216.
Is memory an issue for you?
Well, not with sex, it's not. No.
With sex, it's not.
No.
But with other things, it is a problem.
Objection
I just don't
argumentative.
remember that day.
Overruled. Just a moment. There's an objection. Is argumentative? Yes?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Overruled. You can answer the question. Do you remember the question?
What day? I don't know. How you...
Okay, he asked if you have questions with your memory about other things. Is that a problem?
No, I don't have problems with memory.
All right, next question.
Okay. In September 3rd, 2016, you were then arrested again for public intoxication. Do you remember that?
September what?
September 3rd, 2016.
I don't remember. Sorry.
Okay. Are you saying it didn't happen, or you just have no memory of it?
I think it didn't happen.
Okay. just, the event never occurred?
No,
January 14th of 2014, yet one more time you were arrested for public intoxication. Do you recall that?
no,
I mean, just search back in your memory. How many times can you tell me that you've been arrested for public intoxication?
Objection to relevance. 352.
Sustained, sustained, you do not need to answer that question.
So you're telling this jury you only recall twice from my question. I mean, I've cited 5 times for you, and you only recall 2 incidents. Is that true?
yes,
So the other 3 incidents that I referred to, you have absolutely no memory of,
I
right?
have no memory of it.
Is there a possibility that they occurred and you just blacked it out? Do you understand my question?
Yes, I understand your question. No, I didn't black it out, and I don't remember. Yeah, I guess it's a blackout if I can't remember.
Right. You wouldn't dispute evidence of that, of those stops by police, would you? In other words, police officers come in and say that they did stop you for that? You wouldn't dispute it?
What, sue you? Is that what you're asking me?
Dispute.
Can you please rephrase the question?
You wouldn't.
Argue about it?
Right.
No, I never argue with the law enforcement.
Okay. So on this date, on St. Patrick's Day at 3:30, when you're out cruising around, which is things that you do, right? That's normal for you.
Right,
Cruising around means going down to downtown Encinitas and walking around, right?
yes,
Talking to some friends that you might know out there.
yes,
I mean, you've been there all your life, right?
right.
And so you know a lot of people.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, fair for me to say. I mean, you might know some people who run some of the shops there, correct?
No, I don't know them personally.
How about just people on the streets? I mean, you know some of the people, like friendly faces on the streets, right?
What, the homeless?
I mean, it could be the homeless, could be just regular people on the street. Do you know them?
No, I don't know a lot of people. I don't go up there and introduce myself.
Really, you don't
This
know?
place?
Really, you don't know anybody. So you're telling this jury that you know nobody from the streets in Encinitas.
Objection, misstates the evidence.
Sustained.
I don't
But
see
just a
people.
moment, just a moment. Ask another question.
The question to you is you've been a resident there all your life, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong,
Yes,
right? And you walk the streets. That's one of the things you do. You love walking the streets, like by your own admission, correct?
yes,
And you can get to know people on the streets, correct?
yes.
And so you're telling this jury that you don't know any of the, what you say, homeless or transient people in Encinitas?
Yes, I do know a few people.
Okay. These are people that are by the bus stop, right?
Yes,
It's the same bus stop that you went to after this assault, right?
right,
Okay. You know people that are by the trains, depots, right?
yes.
And there's a community center there too. I'm sorry, do you need a break?
No,
Right. So there's a community center there, right, where the homeless people go to. You know where it's at, right?
which community center are you talking about? The senior citizens place?
There's a senior citizens and there's a community outreach center. You know where that is?
Yes, but I don't go over there.
But you know where it is.
Yes,
2nd Street.
yes.
You know people that go there too, don't you?
Well, yes, if you know, yes, I know a few people.
So that we're clear. You've been a lifelong resident. You go on daily walks. You go on your cruising around thing, and you know people. That's fair for you to say, right?
Yes, I know people.
Okay. So on this particular day, St. Patrick's Day, it is your testimony in front of this jury that you had nothing to drink prior to 3:30, right?
Yeah, right.
So you go out and you decide that you're gonna go cruising around.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes,
And you decide you're going to walk down to El Camino, was it?
to 101
To 101, Coast Highway,
Coast Highway.
right? That's by the ocean.
Walking, yeah.
By the ocean, okay. So, how far is it from your house to Santa Fe?
About 5 minutes.
5 minutes, okay?
5-minute walk. Do you
Right.
walk?
Yeah, you were walking, right?
Yeah,
So it's 5 minutes to get from your house to Santa Fe.
right.
Is that where you were coming from?
Yes.
And who was at your house before you left it?
My mom, my family.
Okay. So, and you told them you were gonna go out and just walk around.
Yes.
And you told this jury that you were going to go shopping,
Mm-hmm.
but yes?
Is that a yes?
Yes.
All right, next question.
And do you recall speaking to the police when this originally happened? Do you recall telling them that you were just going out? You didn't say anything about shopping. You were just going to go out cruising around. You remember that?
I remember going out shopping because that's what I do. But the cruising around, I don't remember saying it.
Don't remember saying it?
Because that was the first day, that was right after it happened.
Right after what happened?
The incident happened.
Okay. You mean when you spoke to the police?
Right.
Well, the first day was actually 4 days after, right? You didn't report
I
it.
think it was a Wednesday or something. I don't remember. I know it was closed on Monday, so.
Right, but you didn't report this offense till 4 days after. So it
Right.
wasn't the next day.
Right.
Right? So my question to you is, did you tell the police that you were in fact just going cruising around and not going shopping?
I don't remember. Yeah, I guess I said I was just out and about.
And if you go shopping, by the way, this day, did you have any money with you?
Of course I had money.
How much money did you have?
I don't know.
$100?
I don't know.
$10?
Objection, asked and answered calls for speculation, lacks foundation.
Sustained. You do not need to answer that last question.
This
Next
is-
question.
And this is going down to the thrift stores, it's shopping for you, right? That is?
Yes.
Okay, so, anyways, you walk 5 minutes to Santa Fe, and then you've got the 101 Coast Highway is.
Right.
How far away?
About 2 miles.
About 2 miles from Santa Fe,
Right.
right? And you start walking,
Right.
and you walk all of, what, 1 block?
Yeah, about a block
Okay. And then
to
you
Lake Drive.
decide you're gonna turn around and you're gonna hitchhike.
Right.
Right, so the question to me is hitchhiking something you do normally?
No.
Is it, how frequently do you hitchhike?
Well, I don't hitchhike lately because
I'm asking about lately, I'm asking you prior to this event, how often did you hitchhike?
I probably hitchhiked about 5 times in my life.
5 times in your life.
Yeah, I get tired and I don't want to walk, so I turned around and I put my thumb out.
Prior to this day that you were allegedly assaulted, when was the last time you hitchhiked?
The only time I remember of hitchhiking before this happened was when I was 12 years old and it was raining and I got in an argument with my mom and I laughed crying and some Mexican man was going to give me a ride home. So, and he assaulted me. That's the last time I remember.
So basically, 12 years old, you're the victim of sexual assault from a Mexican man, and then, what, 48 years later, give or take, you decide to hitchhike again.
Yes.
Is that true?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Just walking along and you just said, you know what, I'm not going to do it, I'm just going to turn and start hitchhiking.
Right.
And you've never, once again, you understand you're under oath, right?
Yes, I
Objection,
understand.
asked and
about you.
answered and argumentative in the repeated question.
Sustained. The answer will be stricken.
Is it your testimony that you have not accepted a ride from another individual while hitchhiking over the past 5 years?
No.
Never.
No.
Okay. So this day, you just decided to do it, okay, right?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, you just flip around. You got your white leather pants on, and you put your thumb out, and lo and behold, a bright, shiny, new black car comes in. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Say
Yes.
you a picture. It's already been completed. Maybe you can see better behind you. You can go ahead. Publish it. I'll show you what's marked previously as Court's Exhibit 11. Take a look. You recognize that?
Yep.
How do you recognize it?
I don't know. Does that thing go all the way back?
The thing being,
Does it have like it was a Jeep, I just don't, it looks like it's like a truck. Is it like the truck that I'm looking at?
let me make this easier. Can I get Court's Exhibit 8, please? Oh, wait, that's not it. I'm sorry. The wrong one.
Looking for 12.
12. That's right. The front.
All right, put up court exhibit number 12.
You see that? Is that it?
I don't know, I wrote down his license plate and I couldn't find it, so I don't remember if it had it had a tire, but I just remember the license plate being over here. That's all I remember.
Over where?
Over on the right-hand side.
Okay, the right-hand side of the back of the car.
Yeah, that tire wasn't there, there was no tire.
All right, next question.
All right. Can I get Court's Exhibit 71? I'm going to ask you to take a look at this and see if you recognize this. 71? Okay. Take a look at that. Anything about that vehicle familiar to you?
I just don't remember looking at it from the front. I looked at it through the side. I wasn't, I didn't go into the front in front of him so he could run me down. I was on the side. I got in,
Can I get
looked at it, and then I was in the back of it. I wasn't looking at the front, so I don't know what the front rear.
Let me try this. Can we get 72? area that you've been discussing here, right?
Yes.
So,
Can you see that okay? Do you need glasses or anything?
I don't have them, I forgot.
Okay, and there's a, if you look to your right, behind you, there's a closer map. Does that help you at all?
Okay, yes.
Is that better?
Uh-huh.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Carlos.
okay, so I'm gonna, I don't have any handy pens here.
I have a pen if you need one.
I don't know if I can write on this thing, can I?
You can't write on the TV screen.
It's just Mr. Owens.
But you can write on the actual hard exhibit if you would like,
Yeah.
and then just have her show as well on the screen.
Right.
However you want to proceed.
Do we, let me just walk you through this, okay? This is Santa Fe Avenue, correct?
Right,
And this is, across the top is the 5.
right.
Well, just a minute, across the top, I think you just indicated was Santa Fe Avenue.
This is horizontal, right? Is horizontal.
Yes. The one that goes horizontal across the top
Santa
is
Fe Drive.
correct. Okay.
Even says Santa Fe Drive on there, right? See that?
Right, yes.
Okay, so this kind of diagonal over here at the corner, top right corner, would be the Interstate 5.
Right.
Below it, kind of running parallel to it at an angle, is that the on-ramp to the 5?
Yes.
Okay. This parking lot with all the cars in it, is that the parking lot to the Bonds? No. It's a long time how this works. Anyways. There it is.
Top left.
There it is. Can't really see it that well.
You might just want to point down with
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
finger.
I'll use this as a pointer.
And then make sure you're not blocking the view of the jurors, especially one close to you. Go ahead.
This is the parking lot. There's the Bonds. There's the dry cleaner, 24-hour fitness, and there's a sushi restaurant there, right?
Right.
Okay. And that parking lot is fairly depicts sort of like what the parking lot looks like, right?
When it's full, yes.
Yeah, a lot of cars. I mean, because this is a grocery store. People
Right.
go to the grocery store.
On a Saturday.
Do you agree?
Yes.
When you pulled into the parking lot there, was there anything strange about the parking lot?
No.
Normal, regular business?
Regular?
Okay. Is this the bank up at the top here? Is that
Yes.
the bank you're talking about? It is.
There's a bank and then there's the pizza place.
Okay. So, the man says, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna fuck you. You're going, right? Something like
Right.
that. Okay?
Right.
Oh, by the way, you said this guy said his name was Dominique.
Right.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
Okay, you never told anybody that his name was Dominique.
He said, no, well,
Okay, let me put this. 4 days later, when you interviewed with the police, you didn't tell them that this guy said his name was Dominique.
well, he didn't say his name was Winslow either.
Okay, but you didn't tell the police that he used the name Dominique,
Okay.
right? Yes?
Right.
Later on, when you testified at the preliminary hearing under oath, you didn't say that the man used the name Dominique. Isn't that true?
Right.
So this is the first time over a year that anybody's ever heard that this individual said his name was Dominique, right?
Right.
And even when you spoke with Mr. Owens and the investigators in preparation for the trial, you never said anything about a guy named Dominique. Isn't that true?
Right.
So now, over a year later, this guy who says his name is Dominique, he's driving you into this parking lot. Can you tell us how you came in?
Right where that red thing is right there, see it's 451?
Yes.
That's where the light is.
Okay.
The hospital is going to the right, and then you go into the Rite Aid.
Right here?
there, Right, yeah, and then beside that tree.
Right here?
Yeah, that's
I
right.
got a circle. Good. Is that depicted?
So you go up all the way to the front, and then you go down
All the way to the front where?
this way.
Okay, do you want, ma'am, can we just have you stand and
Yeah.
point with your finger on the TV screen itself?
Okay, so when you get to the light, you're at the light right there. See where the cars and the red balloon is?
Yeah.
And then you're coming in. See, and you're coming in, and then right here is where the bonds,
Right here.
yeah. And with the-
So we're a square right here? Can we do that for the bonds?
Yeah, the bonds is like right here.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am, I think he's asking the route that you took when he drove you into the parking lot.
That's the road.
Okay,
Yeah.
can we have her draw on the hard diagram
Yes.
number 114? So there's a
Draw
green
that.
pen there, and use that pen to draw the route that you took once you and this person entered into the parking lot.
So when you're already in,
From the street into the parking lot and where you ended up. Okay.
Sure. Since I am basically an applicant, somebody who's the tech person to draw.
Okay,
line.
can we put that up on the screen? All right, you've indicated with a green pen the route that was taken when you went into the parking lot, is that correct?
yes.
All right, and we can go ahead and publish that for the jury.
Yeah.
Do you not have an Elmo over there?
I don't know. It's like almost our old school apparently.
Well, what do you have now? Do you have a,
Straight and hook in computers.
oh, you put it in the computer?
Right.
All right, is it up there? Oh, there, okay.
So here's what we're doing. I want you to follow this green thing. So you've drawn right here.
Right,
You came down to the parking lot,
right.
straight across is the lane, right?
Yeah, there's an in and there's an out, so you come down this way, and then you're going this way in front.
Okay.
And in front of all the stores, but you're not going towards the right, you're going towards the Vons.
So this area right here is where the
Vons
bonds
is
is.
right.
This area right here is
Well, the Family Fitness Center
Family
and
Fitness.
the dry cleaners.
Dry cleaners.
And whatever.
and this is the sushi restaurant, right?
Right,
Okay.
okay.
Where did you park?
You-
Right there, okay. It's easier for me.
Can you point to the TV screen?
Okay.
This you can see better here. Can you see better here?
Right there.
Okay, so.
All right, she's indicating the lower right-hand corner of the photograph, and now,
There was two cars, and then we were right here.
Okay.
all right, can you take this red pen and on court exhibit number 14, put an X with a circle around it indicating where you ended up, or where this car ended up parking on the court exhibit number 114.
An X in a circle?
Yeah, put an X with a circle around it where the car ended up parking. All right, and you just indicated also where the Vons was. I want to make sure the record's clear. Can you draw on there, or write on there, the word Vons where Vons is? And you said there was a sushi restaurant. Can you write where that is on court exhibit number 114? Okay, we just have to have it clear for the record, so if somebody reads the transcript, they'll know exactly where you were pointing. Okay, I'll take the pen back, and then you can ask your next question.
Sure. So this area that you indicated where you parked, where those two cars are right there, that's where you parked, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so these backs of these buildings right here, there are doors that go, that lead into those buildings, correct?
Yes.
Did you see whether they're open or not?
The dry cleaners was open.
So the dry cleaner door is open. And correct me if I'm wrong, this is about what, maybe 10 feet, 15 feet to the door,
Yeah, from here to the wall.
to that wall?
Yep.
Your Honor, does the court have an estimate?
Yes, okay, which wall? The one in the far back or the one that's
The
closest?
one to the far back.
Okay,
of that picture.
give me just a moment. That is going to be 50 feet.
Okay.
All right, and just to be clear, where is you said there was a dry cleaners, is that between the sushi restaurant and Vons?
Yeah.
Okay,
And
next.
the building gets bigger, so, yeah.
Okay, next question.
Okay, so you were inside the vehicle, right around this area right here, and then you said you walked to the fence. Can you tell us, can you use the pointer and tell me which way you walked?
Right here. There's a yard, it's a utility yard, it has lawn mowers and for the landscaper, this is a park next door,
Okay, where's the fence that you jumped over?
right here.
Up in the ivy
Uh-huh,
or
right
the
here.
ice plant?
Right here.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we're gonna have her
Yeah.
circle on, ma'am, on exhibit number 114. You indicated the area where the fence was. Can you circle that with a red pen? Here's the pen.
Circle the fence?
Yes, the area where you climbed over the fence.
Oh, where we climbed over the fence.
Just circle it, but don't put an X in the circle. All right, the record will reflect the witnesses made, can I see that? The witnesses made a red oval on the lower right-hand corner of court exhibit number 114 indicating where they went over the fence. Okay, here, let me give this back to you. You can hang on to the pen because we might have you make another marking on that. Next question, Mr. Carlos.
All right. This is definitely one that you want. Let me show you what's marked as Court's Exhibit 11. Why don't you take a look at this? Tell me if you recognize it. 111.
Is it 111 or 11?
111.
Okay.
You recognize that?
Yes, I do, this is the back. Yeah.
Is this-
Well, yes, that's the back of the place.
Back of the place where you parked your car.
Right, he parked his car.
Is there any objection to publishing this at this point, Mr. Owens?
There is none, Your Honor.
Okay, we can go ahead and put 111 up on the screen
See the photos?
as the witness is looking at it. All right, go ahead, Mr. Carlos.
So you recognize that photo?
Yes.
Right. And this is the, there's a sushi restaurant here, right, in the corner?
Yes,
And the parking lot, the main parking lot's over here.
right,
There's a couple cars that are parked here, right?
right.
And then the back right here, where these cars are parked,
Mhm.
those are the doors to the sushi restaurant and the cleaners and the 24-hour fitness, correct?
I think there's only 2 doors, but I'm not sure, I didn't see 3.
But they-
Yeah,
they-
okay, yes, there's door effective.
They go into the business,
Right.
right? This ivy here, is that the ivy that you're talking about?
Right.
There's a fence here. See my hand
Right,
across that?
right.
Is this the fence that you talked about jumping over?
That's the fence we jumped over.
Do you recall where you jumped over the fence?
More, it's not in the picture, but probably right after where you cut it off.
Let me show you.
Where he cut off to the right of the photograph as you look at it, or the
Yeah,
left?
the parking lot where we parked is over here.
Okay, indicating to the left of photograph 111.
Here, let me try this one. Let's take a look at this photo. Do you recognize that photo?
And for the record, this is
That
what?
looks like the front.
107.
107?
See, that looks like the front. That
So
doesn't,
you-
this, I'm saying over here where the utility truck, or there's a little utility places.
Okay, let's just publish it. So this is the front of the, this is the,
Oh, okay, yeah. But I don't see the 3 parking spots. So that's the front, you're looking in the front, we're in the back where
I
that,
understand that. I
where
understand. I
that.
understand.
Just a moment, just a moment.
Okay.
Just wait.
you've been here.
Wait a minute. Okay, I'm letting the court reporter catch up because everybody's speaking at the same time. Let's have a question and then an answer without everybody speaking over each other. So go ahead, Mr. Carlos. Next question.
Sushi restaurant depicted here. That's the sushi restaurant we're talking about, right? And so behind there, see where that that motorhome is parked,
Right,
that's part of the parking lot that you went into, right?
exactly.
Okay, and for the record, the sushi restaurant is to the right of the picture. And does it say the name of the restaurant on there?
It says Sushi Lounge.
Sushi Lounge. Okay, so just, I want the record clear of where the sushi restaurant is on this photograph. Next question.
And there's, the fence is depicted here,
Right.
and so we're still not in the area where you jumped over the fence?
Well, yeah, you could probably see if it's behind, yeah. Either that or it's right where the truck is.
So
you know.
right in this area, so.
Right.
Can you draw a circle around the area that you think you're talking about?
Okay, ma'am, you're looking at Court Exhibit 114. We need to take a look at Court Exhibit number 107, I believe. No, that's not the right exhibit.
They're on hard copy, so no, we're okay. So basically, it's in the area that's closer to the camper right here, right?
Right.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to the way that the items are being identified and circled.
Okay.
The witness herself is not circling the locations that
Right,
counsel
let's do that. Let's take that exhibit that's in front of you, ma'am, to your left.
Mm-hmm.
To your left.
That one.
Oh.
Okay, that's the same photograph that's on the screen, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes? And then can you please circle the area that is, what were you asking, Mr. Cross, where she
Jumped.
Pardon me?
Where she jumped over.
Where she jumped over the fence. Can you circle it on that exhibit, please? Which is 107. Actually, let me give you a better pen before you circle it. Okay. Here's a black Sharpie. And on Court Exhibit number 107, can you use that black Sharpie to circle the area where you went over the fence? No, 107, the one on your left. There you go. Are you able to do it?
I think I can't tell, but it might be on the other side of that, so just as close
Okay,
as
well,
I
just
can
a minute,
get.
before you
as
make
close
the
as-
marking, do you know if it's depicted on that photograph, the area where you went over the fence?
If it's not, don't mark anything.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right, next question.
Let me move you to Court's Exhibit 105. Take a look at that. Maybe that might be closer in line.
Okay, this is 105?
105.
All right, 105 is now on the screen.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes, go ahead.
You see the gate here? You see the gate? Was it near the gate?
And you said that was a yes, correct? When you were asked if you see the, do you see the gate or not?
Yes, I
no?
see the gate.
Okay, next question.
So you don't remember the gate?
I don't remember the gate.
Let me show you Court's Exhibit 104. Look at that. You recognize that?
Yes,
Okay, this is the fence, right?
right.
Okay, so this fairly inaccurately depicts the way the fence looked.
Right.
So it doesn't have like a bar on the top.
Right.
And so you previously had said you used this line here, that's how high it was, right? And this line being this round wood thing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I'd hate to object, but it's magnified currently. I'd ask that it be left in its regular state, the way it's being displayed.
That's fine.
Okay. All right, and for the record, that's the same dark brown wood paneling stripe on the courtroom wall that's about 5 to 5.5 feet tall. The stripe itself is about 4 or 5 inches thick, so it's hard to determine the exact height. So go ahead.
Okay, well, it's not the most sturdy of fences, it looks like. Right?
Looks brand new.
Okay. It's you were there, you felt it. So it's a sturdy fence.
Pretty sure, yes.
Alright, so here's what happens. You roll into the parking lot, this individual Dominique has told you that he's going to fuck you and kill you, right?
Yes,
And you're driving past a lot of cars in the parking lot, right?
yes,
Because it's a regular Saturday, there's people shopping, right?
yes,
People going to the 24-hour fitness,
yes,
people going to the dry cleaner,
yes,
right? And a sushi restaurant.
yes,
Not to mention the bank behind you, okay?
yes,
So you testify that there's one person in this entire parking lot that walks in front of the car, right?
yes,
And you start waving your arms over your head like, help me, help me, help me, something like that.
right,
But you can't say anything because you're afraid,
exactly,
right? You were afraid of the individual in the driver, let me finish. You're afraid of the individual in the driver's seat, doing something to you if you yell.
yes,
But you weren't afraid of the individual in the driver's seat doing anything if you're waving your hands up like this, back and forth,
But
at this
he was-
person walking by. Right?
right,
Okay. But you didn't yell. You didn't say, hey, anything like that, right?
no.
You didn't
Well,
open
just a
the-
moment, is that right or is it not right? Did you yell or say anything?
I didn't scream at all, nothing, nothing came out.
Okay, next
I was
question.
stunned after he
And
threatened me.
so you're driving through the parking lot. You didn't try to open the door and jump out.
No,
You didn't try to punch the guy driving the vehicle. No.
no,
And we've already established you didn't yell at any of the many people who were walking around the parking lot. Is that correct?
Objection, misstates the evidence.
Sustained, you do not need to answer that question.
How many people were in the parking lot, if you recall?
2, I think, there was one far away and there was one right, I only saw 2 probably.
In the entire
That were
Vaughn,
getting out of the grocery store, that came out of the grocery store.
okay, so in the entire Vaughn's parking lot, Vaughn's grocery.
Right,
There was only 2 people that are walking out of the store or near the store.
yes,
Yes?
yes,
Okay. A shopping center with a restaurant, a 24-hour fitness, a dry cleaner, a bank, and a sushi restaurant, and there's only 2 people on this entire lot.
Objection asked and answered.
Sustained, you do not need to answer that question. Next question.
So, you pull to the stop, still says he's gonna kill you, he's gonna fuck you, he's gonna kill you. But we're gonna do it over there in the ice plant, right?
right,
So, he gets out of the vehicle and he opens the door for you to get out of the vehicle, right?
right,
And then you are from here to the back wall here. That's how far you are from freedom. You don't go to the door at all, right?
right,
You didn't run to the parking lot where there are going to be people, right?
right,
You didn't run to the sushi restaurant, which is right there in front of you, right?
right,
You decided you're just going to walk with this guy because you were afraid.
he scared me.
Okay. So yeah, he scared you so much that you're walking right behind him to the fence. True?
Yes,
So I want to get this image. The man, Dominique, told you he's going to kill you, opens the door for you, says we're going to go over here in the ice plant, and then you get out of the vehicle, and rather than running anywhere, you follow him to this fence, like 50, whatever it is, 25 feet to the fence, through the ice plant, through the dirt, to the fence, right?
right,
Okay, now you're at the fence,
right,
and you got the store behind you.
right,
Let's assume that, let's say this is the fence, the jury rail here, right?
yes,
And this is the freeway, the backside of the jury's at, right?
yes,
So everywhere behind me, there are people, and there are stores, and there are cars, right?
Objection, misstates the evidence.
I'm just asking a
But
question.
Just a moment. Overruled on those grounds, however, it is compound, so I will sustain it on those grounds. You can rephrase.
Everywhere on the other side of the fence, that's not facing the freeway, there's like people. Do you agree?
nobody in sight, no, there was nobody after we went in the back of the parking lot.
Do you think that you had access, let me put it this way, you had access to open businesses, right?
Yes,
I mean, 24-hour fitness wasn't closed because it's 24-hour fitness, right? Right?
Yes.
And Vaughn's wasn't closed.
Wasn't closed.
And the laundry wasn't closed.
No,
And the sushi restaurant wasn't closed.
no.
Right, so you had access to all of these businesses, and these back doors were open. You told the police that the back doors were open, correct?
Yes.
But you didn't go there, correct?
I was terrified.
Yeah,
I
that's what I'm
thought
saying.
he was a terrorist.
You didn't. Oh, he's a terrorist now.
Well,
Objection argumentative.
Sustained is the last, that wasn't a question, you can ask your next question.
Why did you think he was a terrorist?
just the way you all acted.
What about the way he acted made you think he was a terrorist?
Well, if somebody told you and to kill you and rape you, and I just thought he was a terrorist.
Okay. And you thought he had a gun.
I
Right?
thought he had a weapon.
And that's because black people always have guns, right? That's something you've said before. Remember that?
Yes, I did say that.
You told police it's
Yeah.
usually the black guys that got guns, right?
Yes.
And you also told them that, because it's not the black guys, it's the Mexicans who will beat you up. They'll just beat you up, they don't have guns. Remember that?
Yes, I did say that.
You been beat up before by Mexicans, is that it? Is that a yes? Have you been beat up? Have you accepted
No.
a ride and been beat up?
No.
Okay, so these are just things that you think.
Yes.
So in your mind, Dominique, who's threatened to kill you, rape you, is a terrorist, has a gun because he's essentially black. Is what you're saying.
Objection, this states the evidence.
Sustained, and it's vague, you can rephrase.
You believed he had a gun because you saw him, I guess, touch his hip, is what you said? Remember that? On direct testimony, you said that you saw the black man touch his hip and you thought he had a gun.
I asked him if he had a weapon, and he goes, if you move, yes.
Oh, you asked him if he had a weapon, and he said if you moved, and he touched his hip.
Right.
Okay, so this is the guy who's wearing drawstring shorts,
Yes.
no pockets.
He had pockets, though.
Okay, he had pockets, and did you see the outline of the gun?
I didn't see anything.
Because it's interesting because you never told the police that this individual had said anything about a gun to you. Do you remember that?
I guess, yes. I
Okay,
guess
so
I did.
4 days after this event, when you called the police, you didn't say anything about the individual having a gun. Isn't that true?
Objection. Withdrawn, Your Honor.
You can answer.
I didn't see a gun.
Okay.
No,
But, but the point, what I'm saying is you didn't tell the police anything about this individual claiming that they had a gun.
Okay, then yes, I didn't.
You didn't say it. And in fact, when you came in here at the preliminary examination, when you were sitting on a witness stand under oath, you said nothing about this individual telling you that he had a gun. Isn't that true?
That's true.
So this is the first time, now, a year later, you remember that this individual patted his hip and he claimed he had a gun.
Yes.
All right, so you then follow him because you think now that he has a gun, you follow him to the fence, and it's your testimony that then he jumps over the fence.
Yes.
All right, and you're on the other side of the fence. Right?
Right.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. We got terrorists jumping over the fence, which is higher than what you've already shown where it is. He's up and over that fence that's depicted in the exhibit right there.
Yes.
You're on the other side, correct?
Right.
You're on the side facing open doors, cars.
The
Yes.
freeway, people driving by.
No. Freeway is up on the other side. You are on the opposite side of the freeway.
Yeah, but where the bushes is, we're over here more.
And for the record, defense counsel and the witness are referring to Court Exhibit 104, which is on the screen. Go ahead.
We could see the cars. They could see us.
What I'm saying is,
Like right here.
that's the point. Look at me.
Okay.
Sorry. This behind is the freeway, right?
Right.
This on this side of the fence, right,
Yeah.
is the shopping center.
All right.
Terrorist, rapist is on the other side of the fence, correct? You are on this side of the fence, correct?
Yes.
The fence.
Okay, I'm just not sure we're clear. The person is on the freeway side of the fence and you were on the non-freeway side of the fence. Is that what you're saying? I just want to be clear because the questioning was a little confusing about this side and that side. There's one side of the fence that's on the freeway side, and the other side that's on the side of the fence closest to the Vons, correct? Is that correct, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, so with that said, you can ask your next question, just to clarify. Go ahead.
So you were on the side that's not the freeway side. That's correct.
What, that we jumped over the
No,
fence?
I'm just asking about you, not we, you. You haven't jumped
Me.
over the fence yet,
Okay,
correct?
right,
The other guys jumped over the fence,
right.
right? You're still on the other side of the fence.
Yes.
I'm just trying to get the image here. So, the man that you're afraid of is now separated from you by a fence that is at least over 5 feet.
Well, yeah, it was
Is that
taller than I am, yes.
Okay, so I just want to make sure I'm clear on this. So the man on the other side of the fence is separated from you with a fence that's taller than you.
Right,
And you have basically access to open doors, to open
Mhm.
establishments, right? Yes?
yes,
And you said yourself you exercise, I mean, you could run, isn't that true?
yes,
You can even walk faster than he can get back over the fence, isn't that fair for me to say?
yes,
But instead, what you do is you jump over the fence on your own accord.
yes.
I mean, he didn't say, jump over the fence or I'm going to pull out my gun and I'm going to shoot you. He didn't say that to you, did he?
No,
He didn't say, jump over the fence or I'm going to pull my knife out and come and kill you, did he?
no, not when we were outside, no.
Right, you jumped over the fence on your own. You decided on your own that you were going to jump over the fence. Isn't that true?
Yes,
Okay. And you testified during the preliminary hearing that he had already started to take his clothes off before you even jumped over the fence.
right,
And then when you jumped over the fence, you started to take your own clothes off, right?
yes,
I mean, you didn't tear your clothes off.
no,
He didn't throw you to the ground and tear your clothes off.
no, he
He
just
didn't
told me to undress.
He told you to undress, right? He didn't threaten you at that point, did he? Anybody threaten you at that point?
No,
No. So you jump over the fence, the 5-foot fence, over to the guy that's threatened to kill you, to threaten to rape you, to take your own clothes off. Am I missing something?
no, you're right.
All right. So you recall testifying in the preliminary hearing, in fact, the question was posed to you that you said during the prelim that he had his clothes off on the other side of the fence before you jumped over. Do you remember that?
Yes,
In fact, the question was, you know, even though when the question was asked to you by the lawyers, like getting the image, he's like buck naked, as in he has no clothes on. It's all the way down. You have clothes on, and you decide to jump over the fence. That's the way it was posed to you. Remember that?
yes,
But that's what you did. Exactly what you did, isn't it?
yes,
There was actually another part to this that was strange, because during the prelim, you also said that before you left the car, you asked the terrorist rapist guy if you could get your backpack. Remember that?
yes,
Because in your backpack, you had all your stuff.
yes,
And one of the things you're concerned about was your sunscreen, because you didn't want to, you said your sunscreen got stolen before,
yes.
so you wanted to have your sunscreen with you.
Mm-hmm,
Yes?
yes,
Okay, so, once again, just to clarify the picture here, you are on one side of the fence, you have your backpack with your belongings on it. You, I'm assuming, had to throw your backpack over the fence before you climbed over that fence, correct?
yes,
You get back on the other side of the fence, he's got his clothes off, you start taking your clothes off, he says, you know what, this isn't gonna work. Probably because there's a bunch of ice plant there, right? It's not a very comfortable place, I take it? Yes?
yes,
Okay, and you say, okay, we're gonna go jump over the fence. And so he goes over the fence first. Isn't that true?
yes,
So once again, Now you still, another situation where you have your clothes, you have your belongings, the alleged rapist, terrorist is on another side of a 5-foot fence. You could run, right?
Right,
You could scream.
yes,
You could run down the length of the fence. You can go up to the freeway on-ramp very easily, right?
I could have, yes.
Wave down a car,
No,
because there certainly were cars on the freeway, right?
Right.
There certainly were cars going up the on-ramp, correct?
yes,
Right? But you didn't do any of that, did you?
no,
What you did instead was put on your clothes or your pants, your white leather pants that you had. You put them back on, and then you picked up your backpack. You went to the fence, threw your backpack over the fence, right?
right,
And then you put yourself up on the fence and you hop back over the fence, right?
right,
And then you followed the rapist, terrorist, all the way back to the vehicle where you were going to be assaulted in, right?
right,
Where this individual opened the door for you. Here you go, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yes,
He then sat in the passenger seat. I mean, driver's seat. You're in the passenger seat.
yes,
You recall, you described the oral sex that you gave, right?
right,
So the man had a huge penis,
yes,
gigantic. Yes?
gigantic,
Right? Just like you were just saying, wow, what am I going to do with this thing? So that's your words. Yes?
yes, that's what I
Okay.
said,
And you gave him oral sex.
right,
And you remember telling the police, when you were interviewed, you said that there wasn't any force in that part. It was unforced.
well, he threatened me, and I kept on begging, please let me go, let me go.
Were you begging him to let you go when you were on the other side of the fence? Or did you say, hey, from this side of the fence?
Before we
you
got
said-
out of the car, yes, I
Okay.
begged him, but
Before
I
you got-
didn't know, not when we were by the fence, I don't know.
When
No,
he's on-
I did not beg him, I didn't say anything, I told you.
When he's on the other side of the fence with no clothes, did you beg him to let you go?
No, I didn't beg him.
When you jumped over the fence and started taking your clothes off?
I was
did you-
just terrified.
Okay, I understand. All right, so you didn't beg him to let you go. But inside the vehicle, once you voluntarily walked back to the vehicle, you begged him to let you go. Yes?
Objection argumentative is phrased.
All right, withdrawn. When you walked back to the vehicle and he opened the door for you and you got in, right?
Right?
That's when he threatened you again.
Yes,
Okay, and that's when you gave him the oral sex.
right.
And that's, you don't recall telling any police officer that it was unforced.
No, he didn't like put my hand, I just said to get this done so I could leave.
Just
Please,
to be
I
clear, are you
beg
talking-
you to-
Just a moment, are you talking about physical force? I think the witness might be confused about it. Are you talking about physical force?
Physical force.
All right, do you understand the question?
He just whipped his penis out and I went over like this.
And indicating she bent over to her left. Okay, next question.
And he didn't grab your head and make you do anything, did he?
Objection compound.
Sustained.
Did
You can
grab-
rephrase.
He didn't grab your head.
He didn't grab my head.
Didn't force your head down onto his penis.
No, because he was holding his penis.
So you were the one that was actually applying any contact to the penis if he was holding his own penis. right?
Yes,
This went on for a couple of minutes,
yes,
and then that's when you climbed back, well, you're already in the passenger seat, right?
right.
And so he then climbs, or he goes out of the car and comes around, or he climbs over the seat.
He climbed over the seat.
Okay. Now this individual, Dominique, he's a larger man, isn't he?
Yes,
I mean, he's 6'4", 6'5", something like that.
yes,
And so it's your testimony that this individual climbed over the seat into your passenger side compartment, right?
right,
And sat on top of you,
right,
right? And then was able to penetrate you that way.
right.
This is in the parking lot with, you said there's 2 cars that are parked next to you?
Right.
the individual then penetrates you, takes a couple of minutes to do this, and then you say that you're bleeding, you start bleeding, or you feel something.
I said, ow, 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 because as soon as he stuck it in, it hurt like hell. So I didn't say screaming, but I said, ow, that hurts, ow, that hurts, ow, that hurts, ow, that hurts, ow, that hurts.
So you were screaming.
Well, to a point, I raised my voice, I don't scream.
I mean, you just sound like you were screaming, right?
Well, it was just, that's how I sounded. I just, ow, ow, I just like, what, you know?
So let me ask you, so instead of screaming, help, 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 you're saying ow, 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 right? I mean, am I right?
Yes.
Okay, got it. So you are screaming in the vehicle. Correct?
Yes.
You're not moderating your voice. I mean, you're trying to make some noise. You're saying, you're screaming, you're saying ow, 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 ow. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. But not calling out to people for help. You're not saying help, 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 I'm being raped. Right?
Right.
I mean, you followed him back into the car. You did what you did orally, and now he's climbed over on top of you, and you're having sex, and you're saying, "Ow, it hurts." Correct?
Right.
And then you say that it caused blood or gushing or something to that effect.
Right.
And you said you weren't on your period.
No.
Now, you testified at the prelim, right? You remember that?
Yes.
And the issue of you menstruating was a big deal, wasn't it?
Objection argumentative.
Sustained, you can rephrase. Actually, you know what, why don't we do this? It's time for afternoon recess. So it seems like a good breaking point. So we're going to take our afternoon recess. We'll be in recess for 15 minutes. We'll see you back here at 3:05. Please leave your notebooks on your chairs. Please remember the admonition. Don't discuss the case with anybody. And we'll see you back here in 15 minutes at 3:05. We're in recess.
Council ready? Okay.
Yes.
Ready? Want to bring him in, Manny?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Jury coming in.
He's calling it, he's calling it, tell him.
Actually, no way. Okay.
Please remain seated and come to order. Court's recess.
All right, we are back on the record. The record will reflect the presence of all counsel. The defendant is present. All jurors are present. The witness is making her way to the courtroom. And I will remind you, ma'am, that you are still under oath. All right? All right, Mr. Carlos, you can continue your cross-examination.
Okay. When I left, we talked about it. You told the police that you, at least your one interviews, that you may have been, that you thought you were menstruating. Remember that?
Yes, I did say that.
Okay. So is it your testimony now that you were menstruating or you weren't?
I wasn't menstruating before it happened.
Okay. But you do admit that you did tell the police that you were menstruating, right?
Yes, I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure that I thought I was spotting.
Okay. So, but spotting really doesn't go with gushing, right?
Right.
Spotting doesn't really go with blood all over the place, is what you said to the other police, correct?
When it happened,
Yes.
yes, there was blood all over.
I need you to describe it.
It was water and blood, like it was just like water and blood.
all over the.
It went all over his leg, or him, and my legs, my pants, and then it probably went down on the, when he pulled out, it probably went down on the seat.
Right on the seats.
Right.
And then your pants were down, right?
My pants were down.
By the way, how did your pants get down?
I took them off.
This is after you were in the vehicle and you gave him the oral sex. You took the pants off yourself, right?
Right, when he came over. Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't take them off before he came over the seat, right?
Yeah, I did take them off before he came over.
Okay, so just I want to paint a picture here.
Yeah, because he's big. How he couldn't fit there, you know. In the
Right.
Right.
So basically, what happens? I mean, what you've said now on cross-examination is that you leaned over. He didn't grab your head, didn't grab your hair. You gave him oral sex. You then, after a couple of minutes, pulled out yourself. You just stopped doing it, right?
Right.
And then you were seated in the passenger seat, correct?
Yes.
And you had your pants on.
Right.
So these are these white kind of leather pants.
Right.
Are they plastic or are they actually leather?
I don't know. I don't remember. White pants.
Okay, they're white. And so now he's over in the driver's seat. He's got his pants down. You're in the passenger seat with your
Right.
pants on.
Right.
You take your pants off, and then, and I'm taking because they're pants. They're like one leg comes off,
Right.
the other leg comes off.
Right.
So you don't have any pants.
Mine just went to my knees.
Okay. But you said your legs are straight.
Yeah, but they still had it. I kept them on the bottom of it.
So you're.
I didn't take them off. I had to get out. You know, like both legs out.
Okay. But I mean, just physically, if you're sitting in a car and you're taking off a pair of pants, you got to unbuckle the button at the top, right?
Right.
Okay. and then you gotta, is there a zipper?
Yes.
You gotta do the zipper. It's 2 movements.
Yes.
Right? And then you gotta kind of wiggle out of the pants and pull them down over your knees and then down to your ankles.
Right.
And you did that on your own, right?
Yes. Because he told me to take off my pants.
Told you to take your pants off. And then he jumped over and you guys had sex.
Right.
So, and then the way he described it was, this individual, Dominique, if it was Mr. Winslow, was a large man, right?
Yes.
And it's a small area.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes.
You agree with me, it's a small area.
Right.
Crawling on top of you to then penetrate you.
Right.
And then you're
Yes.
screaming and all that.
Yes.
And so that we're clear though, you're saying now that you weren't menstruating that day.
Right.
So the blood that you had that day was a result of some sort of trauma,
Yes.
okay? Some tearing, clearly, because
Right.
you agree?
Exactly.
It's your, you know your body.
Yeah, it felt like my water bag blurb or something. It was gushing, it was all red. And it was just a lot of, it felt like a lot of water, but it just gushed, like all of a sudden, swish, just like that.
So do you recall testifying at the preliminary hearing in this matter?
No.
You were in court, right? Remember?
Yes.
And you came in and you swore to tell the truth, right?
Yes.
And you answered questions from the lawyers.
Yes.
Do you know what a preliminary hearing is? It was back on July 11th, 2018. Remember in front of Judge Elias right down the hall? That's what he's talking about.
Okay.
Okay? And can you give a page number and line number if you're going to make certain references, please?
134.
134?
134 lines 2 to 5.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
You recall the hearing, right?
Yes.
And you were brought to testify about the facts of the case.
Yes.
You were asked about menstruating,
Yes.
and do you recall what you said?
I guess I said I was on my period.
So back then under oath, let me ask you this. Do you recall saying, the question was, but now the truth is you were menstruating, correct? And your answer was, I guess, yes. I guess I was menstruating. No, I wasn't. I guess, yes. Okay, yes, I was. Remember that answer?
Yes, if I said it, I said it.
Do you remember saying that?
Yes.
Which means that you really don't know whether you were or not, right?
Yes, I was menstruating.
Okay, so you're menstruating. So, the blood that we're talking about here was from menstruating rather than being penetrated and assaulted, correct?
Yes. Yes, sorry.
Okay, so now it's over. Guy gets off of you, climbs back over to the driver's seat, or does he get out of the car?
He climbed over.
So, big guy climbs back. By the way, he's got this leotard on, right? You described it. It's a sort of a one-piece thing that
Right.
you take down at the shoulders, and then you got to
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Next question.
and then you got to peel it down, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
And he had some drawstring shorts over that.
Yes.
Okay. So you had to pull both those things off completely in order to climb over the seat to get to you in the first place, right?
Yes.
I'm just getting the image here. So this individual, large individual now has like no clothes on, climbing over the passenger seat to get into the climbing over the console to get into the passenger seat to get on top of you, right?
Yes.
Okay, thing happens, he climbs back over to where his clothes are, sits in the passenger seat, and then starts pulling on his one-piece leotard first.
Right.
And then his drawstring shorts.
Right.
And by the way, you didn't see a gun, right? Because you saw him no clothes. I take it.
Right.
I mean, at this
Yeah.
point, you've seen him on the other side of the fence, and he has no clothes, right?
Yes,
He didn't have a gun, right?
right,
Didn't have a knife.
right,
Didn't have any weapon at all, right? Because the guy had no clothes on.
right.
So, in the car, now you know he doesn't have a gun. You know he doesn't have a knife, correct?
Correct.
So, he climbs back over, and then he puts his clothes on. And then says to you, get the fuck out.
Right.
You, sitting in the passenger seat, are upset, clearly. Put your pants on, and you exit the vehicle.
Yes.
Now, guy then gets in the car and drives away, and you run out there after him, screaming and yelling. Correct?
Yes.
Now you're screaming and yelling. Correct?
Well, he was already halfway gone. He was gone, leaving.
Right, that was the point, is you ran after the car, after you were told to get the fuck out of the vehicle.
He was already.
Excuse me, the question is, after you were told to get the fuck out of the vehicle, which you did, and the car starts taking off, you, now for the first time, start running after the car, correct?
No, I didn't run after the car. I just ran to the building to see which way he was going.
Okay, so you ran to the building to see which way it was going. You ran, that's the point. You did run, right?
Right.
Okay, so you run to the building to see where the car was going. You see the car is going, and you start screaming at it. You pervert, you whatever. You said that to him, right?
Yes.
Remember? You were making
I
a scene.
did. I screamed it out loud.
Yeah, you were able to make a scene. You were screaming, you were yelling, you pervert, you asshole, shit like that. You're saying that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you were able to do that because you were upset.
Right.
Car drives. You're angry, because you had just been assaulted, right?
Exactly.
And you have your phone because you brought it back from the ice plant into the car, correct?
Right.
And when you were kicked out of the car, you had the backpack with you, right?
Right.
And you had your phone. You had your phone the entire time.
Yes.
911. You know what that means, right?
Yes.
You didn't do that.
Yes.
And when that car left, when this rapist terrorist left, you didn't pick up your phone and go 911, did you?
No.
You didn't pick up your phone and call home and say, you know what, I've just been assaulted, did you?
No.
You didn't call the police, at their substation and say, you know what, there's a rapist terrorist out here that just assaulted me. You didn't do that, did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so instead what you did was you went around your normal day. You continued to walk down to the bus stop, right?
Right.
Walk down to the bus stop, you use the bathroom.
Yes.
Just a moment. Just letting the court reporter catch up. Go ahead.
I'll slow down.
It was a quick question and answer, and she was falling behind. She's a good court reporter, but she was barely on the edge, so go ahead.
The witness can get some water.
All right, and let me do this. Can you hand me those exhibits so we don't risk spilling water on those? Great, thank you very much. All right, Mr. Carlos, next question.
So, anyways,
Your Honor.
Yes. Oh, thank you.
rather than contacting any law enforcement, what you do instead is go down to your cruising ground. Fair to say, right?
Right.
Normal day in Jane Doe, except for this assault, it's a normal day in Jane Doe's life, right?
Yes.
Down to the bus stop, to the bathroom at the bus stop,
Right.
see some people you know,
Yes.
and then the first person you saw, you said, hey, you know what, I just got assaulted up the street. You didn't do that, did you?
I didn't say a word. I went in the bathroom and cried.
Okay. When you interviewed with either the prosecutor or the police or at the preliminary hearing, did you ever tell anybody you went into the bathroom and cried?
No.
No, you didn't. It's the first time you said that today, correct?
Yes.
Right. But what you didn't do is you didn't call any law enforcement at all.
No, I didn't.
Instead, what you did, you waited for 4 days before you contacted the police.
Yes.
Right? And in between those 4 days, you went about your business, right?
Right.
You continue to cruise around and see people that you saw, right?
Yes.
Talk to people on the streets that you know.
Yes.
contacted the police because, what, a friend told you to contact the police?
It was my decision. I
Sure.
contacted.
That's right, you said that you didn't want this person to go out and hurt other people,
Yes, I did say that.
right? So, my question to you is, why wouldn't you have reported it right away if you didn't want them to hurt other people?
I made a mistake.
So after you told the police about this, about an assault, they contact you, remember?
Yes,
And they ask you to come in for a follow-up investigation.
yes,
But you say, I don't want to go down there, you should just call me. I want to talk to you on the phone. Remember that?
yes.
Were you cooperative with them on the phone?
I don't remember.
Okay. Because you either were or you weren't. I mean, cooperative means you give the information, otherwise.
I
uncooperative.
talked to him a couple times, I just don't remember what I said.
Okay. So during the phone conversation, do you remember they asked you whether you want to take a SART exam?
Yes,
So the detective, or whoever called you from law enforcement, told you that a SART exam is a very, very important evidentiary tool that they can use to get evidence to find the assailant. They told you that, didn't they?
yes,
They told you that by doing this, they could get corroborative information to go find this dangerous person that's out on the streets, correct?
yes.
Well, what did you say? What did you tell them?
I
About
just
the
didn't
SART.
want to go get an exam.
I didn't want to get a
I
SART
didn't
exam.
want to go to the emergency room.
Didn't want to get us. They told you that, you know what? We do this all the time. You're going to go to a SANE nurse. It's called a SANE nurse. She's a specialist. She's going to run through some tests for you. It's an easy thing. They told you that.
Yes,
But you said, I don't feel like it. Remember that?
yes,
I told them I don't feel like going. I don't like it. It's on you, so. Right?
I did say that.
Even though you knew that that would provide potential evidence to find this dangerous person that you think is going to go out and kill other people, that threatened to kill you. Yes?
Yes,
You talked to an officer, Stevens, you remember that?
yes,
And he asked you, he said, well, what do you want done? You know, what do you want out of this thing? Do you remember that?
yes.
You remember what you said to him?
Just in case that he does this to someone else.
Do you recall telling him, I don't want to go to court? I'm not in the mood for that? That's something you said to him, isn't it?
I think I did say that.
Yeah, because you weren't in the mood for it, were you? I mean,
I just don't like coming to court.
don't like going to court.
No. It's not my thing.
Not your thing, and so it's cooperating with the police in an investigation and sex assault of potentially dangerous individuals. It's not your thing.
I went up there, didn't I?
But when they ask you to come, they ask you what you want to do, you said, I'm not in the mood for any of that, right?
I did say that.
They said, you want us to investigate, do a full investigation, do a SART exam, go to the hospital, all that? You remember what you said to them?
I said no to the exam, but right before I left, I said, I will testify, or if you prosecute or something.
Right. You weren't just in the mood, you were in the mood, Al, right?
Objection asked and answered, argumentative.
Sustained. You don't need to answer that question. Next question.
You had several opportunities to assist the prosecution by giving them physical evidence through SART exam, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes,
Objection assumes facts not in evidence, misstates the evidence.
Overruled. You can cover it on redirect. The answer will stand. Next question.
But once again, you refused to do that.
the STAR exam?
Yeah.
Yes,
But you did give them your pants, right?
yes,
But the pants you washed in between the time of the alleged assault and the time you gave it to them 6 weeks later,
yes.
or 3 months later it was, right?
I don't know.
Did you wear those pants after the assault?
No, I
Really?
hung them up.
And I just want to see this. If you say there was blood all over the place, it was all over your pants too,
Mhm.
right?
Right,
Before you washed them?
right.
So you're walking around downtown, so you're just going about your day for hours with these pants with blood all over them?
Yes.
Nobody stopped you and said, are you okay? Nothing?
No.
None of your friends in the streets said, hey, what happened to you?
No.
He said, quick question. Do you recall telling in the preliminary hearing that the individual said to you that they're on a suicide mission?
Yes, I remember that.
How did that come up?
When we pulled into the parking lot, he just said it, I'm on it, he said that, I remember, when we were going under the bridge, he said that, and then he said it again when we were sitting in the car.
Counsel, can I get a page and line number, please?
I haven't started the page, I just a general question here.
Oh, okay, all right. When you do, let me know.
Okay.
Next question.
So he talked about a suicide mission. How did that make you feel?
That's why I think I got so scared that I didn't react and run and grab the wheel, or that's, because he just threatened me, and he made me feel that he was really gonna kill, a lot, me and maybe somebody else. He said that he didn't care who watched. We were in front of almost the park. There was kids over there at the skate park in the back.
Kids in the park, people in the shopping center,
Exactly.
cars, lots of people around, right?
Yes.
Do you recall saying that he said he was on I'm going to refer to preliminary transcript, page 105, lines 13 to 15.
Thank you.
You said he's on a suicide mission, and as a mother, I felt guilty. I felt, oh God, I put this man in a situation. Remember that?
Yes, I remember what I said.
So you put this man in a situation?
Well, he threatened to kill me, and he kept on threatening to kill me, and he goes, I'll chop you up, or he just kept on threatening to kill me.
So how is it that, it was kind of a remark that you made in the
That-
preliminary hearing.
Well, I felt bad because I thumbed, and now here I am in the back of his, in his car.
You volunteered this particular statement, and it says you felt guilty because you put him in a situation. You recall that?
Not him. I felt guilty for the other, the public.
Well, your words, can I get preliminary transcript 105?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to the displaying of the transcript.
Sustained, she said that, so there's no inconsistent statement. You can inquire about what she meant about the statement.
Did you say that I put this man in a situation? Not that he put you in a situation. You said I, meaning you, put this man in a situation. Is that what you said?
Yes, that's what I said.
Okay. And so those are your words. No one's putting those words into your mouth, right?
Right.
So you put that man, whoever it was, in a situation where now he's on a suicide mission. That's what it means. Am I missing something?
Yes, I guess that's what it is.
Okay. So you also testified that there was never any talk about money, right?
No.
Right? This wasn't about you. You're telling this jury that you never asked Dominique or whoever this person was that picked you up that you needed money for shopping.
No.
It's your testimony that when that person picked you up, you didn't say, hey, how's it going? Didn't say that?
Yes, I guess.
Okay, you did say that, right?
Yeah.
And then you say, I'm going out, St. Patrick's Day, recall saying that,
Yes, I did say that.
right? And you said, I need money for shopping.
I don't recall saying that.
Okay. You don't recall saying
I don't go out
any.
anywhere usually unless I have enough money, so.
Did you imply that you needed money for shopping for sex?
No,
And you're sure of that?
positive.
You're positive, just as positive as you are, that Mr. Winslow had a shaved head at the preliminary hearing.
He cut his hair though. It was longer.
You said it was a shaved head. So
Well,
what is
it
it?
might not have been bald, but when he was in his blues, and I saw him on the TV, yeah. That's exactly what I was describing.
Okay.
Okay, when I saw him in the courtroom that day, I can't, from here to there, I wasn't sure, but it's him.
Okay, so you are basing that description then what you saw on TV, right?
Exactly.
So we know that this individual picked you up in a very nice car. Clearly, the car was worth some money, right?
Right?
You say that he raped you.
Yes.
You waited a couple days before you reported it.
Yes.
You refused to give the SART exam or cooperate in further investigation, correct?
Yes.
And then you saw after the arrest that he was a pro football player because you looked at him on the news, right?
Yes.
And you saw that it was Kellen Winslow. Winslow's a big name, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. And you also testified that you walk around, you cruise around, and you talk to everybody. You talk to people on the streets, correct?
Yes.
And did you talk to any lawyers?
No.
Never talked to any lawyers at all?
About money?
Yes. About money? No? Okay. None of your friends told you that you could potentially get money out of this?
No.
And you're certain of that?
I'm positive.
You say positive a lot. You're positive about a lot of things. Just
Objection, argumentative, no question pending.
Sustained.
Are you-
The jury will disregard the last comment. You can, just a moment, Mr. Carlos. You can ask a question. Go ahead.
Are you as positive, well, I'll withdraw that. You're certain that you have never discussed money with anybody in regards to Mr. Winslow's case?
Yes.
Just as certain as you are about everything else you testified.
Objection,
today.
argumentative.
Overruled. I'll allow it. You can answer.
Just as certain as you are with everything else you testified here today.
Yes.
Nothing further from this witness, Your Honor.
All right. Any redirect?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Go ahead.
Ms. Doe, Mr. Carlos was asking a number of questions about why it was that you didn't actually come forward, why you didn't report this immediately afterwards, why you didn't call 911, why you didn't scream for help. How can you best explain the reason why you didn't cry for help at the very first moment that you got out of the car?
I just didn't. I just made up my mind that I wasn't gonna call him. The cops. I guess nobody came up to me or anything, I walked over to the thing and watched him leave to make sure he was leaving, and I just said Herbert, and then I didn't say anything. I don't know. I just don't know why. I just didn't say anything.
You were asked questions about your identification of the person during cross-examination a while ago. You testified this morning that you recall him saying a name such as Dominique, is that right?
Yes.
Isn't it true that you previously told the district attorney's office with Detective Benavides present and district attorney investigator?
That's leading, Your Honor.
Overruled. You just hear the question. Go ahead.
Kathy,
Wait, what?
isn't it true that you previously told in June of 2018 both Detective Benavides and District Attorney Investigator Kathy Pierce that the person identified himself as Deshaun or Michael?
I don't remember. Is that what I said?
As you best recall today, it's your testimony that you used the name Dominique.
Yes.
Do you recall when you actually spoke to the District Attorney Investigator and Detective Benavides here in the Vista Courthouse?
Yes.
Do you remember the name that you gave them on that day?
I thought it was Dominique.
Would it refresh your recollection to refer to a report of that interview?
I'm sorry, what's the answer?
Yes.
Okay,
May I approach, Your Honor?
sure. Do you need reading glasses though? Can you read that?
I'll show it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, the base.
Discovery page 16. I believe that's what it is.
The bait stand
Yes.
is what?
16.
Okay, 16.
And direct your attention to the third paragraph.
Just read it to yourself, and when you're done, you can look up.
Were you able to read that?
Yes.
All right, next question.
Does that refresh your recollection as to the name that you recalled at least as of June 12th, 2018?
Yes.
What was the name that you provided Detective Benavides and
It was
District Attorney?
Michael and
Was it Michael and Deshaun?
it was Michael and Guzon.
Now, you testified this morning that you at least recall as of today that it was Dominique, right?
Yes.
Did you tell Detective Benavides and District Attorney Investigator Pierce that the man said that he was from Oceanside?
Yes.
And he gave you a name, at least as you remembered it in June of 2018, at least a name that was different from what you testified to today, right?
Right.
Did you also detail the specific threats that were made to you at the time that this happened on March 17th of 2018, when you spoke to the investigators on June 12th?
Yes.
Now, in terms of the specifics, did you tell them that this man told you, "I'm not letting you go, I'm going to have sex with you"?
Yes.
Did he tell you that he was not going to pull over, or that he was going to pull over into the shopping center and have sex with you?
Yes.
Did he tell you that he wanted to screw you outside by the freeway?
Yes.
Did he keep telling you that he was going to kill you?
Yes.
And you said this to the investigators on June 12th of 2018, right?
Yes.
You recall on March 21st of 2018, you met with a deputy at the sheriff's substation who was referred to as Deputy Stevens. Do you recall meeting with the male deputy when you first reported this to law enforcement?
Yes.
Did you also tell him that the man had threatened to kill you?
No, I don't think I told him that.
It's fair to say it's tough to recall the specifics of what you said to everybody each time they talked to you.
Objection, it's
Right.
leading.
Overruled. I'll allow it. The answer will stand. Next question.
Thank you, Your Honor. Do you know whether or not those two interviews were actually recorded? Do you remember?
The first one was.
Do you remember seeing a camera that you set up there on the table and he showed you and called it even a nifty little gadget that had a video recording that was ongoing, correct?
Yes.
Okay, just to be clear, we're talking about March 21st interview or the June 12th interview?
The first interview on March 21st, is that right?
Yes.
And that's one you're referring to now, ma'am?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Let me just have a moment.
Go ahead.
During the course of that interview, you told him you told the deputy that he told you, I'm not letting you go.
Improper rehabilitation.
We'll see if it's an inconsistent statement. You can ask the question. Go ahead.
You told the deputy that the individual who had picked you up in his black hardtop SUV that you described as a Jeep, you told him the man said, I'm not letting you go. Is that right?
That's right.
He then said, I'm going to have sex with you. Is that right?
Right,
And he repeated, I'm going to have sex with you. Is that right?
right.
And he said, I'm going to pull over and we're going to have sex. Is that right?
Yes,
And did you tell the deputy that you told the man, there's no way?
yes,
And he said, I'm going to pull in right here, you're going to get out right here, we're going to have sex in the parking lot. That's what you told the deputy on March 21st, isn't that right?
yes,
And then you told him that you pulled in near the Rite Aid, you went to the back by the Vons, by the Rite Aid, and then there was a fitness center or 24-hour fitness, and the man said, I'm going to kill you if you move. Isn't that right?
yes,
You said further that the man told you, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. And he kept repeating it. Is that right?
yes,
And then he further said, I'm going to kill you. You know, if you don't let me have sex with you, I'm going to kill you right here. That's all I'm going to say. Do you recall that?
yes,
Now, when you were describing the vehicle that the man picked you up in, when you talked to Deputy Stevens on March 21st, the first time that you ever spoke to law enforcement, didn't you tell him that this guy pulls over in his in a black car, looked like a Hummer, but it was like a Jeep, but it didn't look like the Wranglers, though? You remember saying that?
yes,
That was the first time you were describing the vehicle to law enforcement, and you said it looked like a Hummer, but it was like a Jeep. You remember that, right?
right,
You were shown photographs by Mr. Carlos, and it's true that when you've been interviewed repeatedly and testified in court, you described it as a Jeep, right?
yes,
As far as you know, was the vehicle that you identified in the photograph the same vehicle that picked you up, as you can best recall as you sit here now?
once again,
The vehicle you identified in the photograph, is it the same vehicle that picked you up?
that one,
The one that was shown to you earlier on the monitor? Do you know?
no, I can't remember.
Okay, we're talking about the vehicle that was on that TV screen, that was a side picture. Ever remember that?
Right,
Okay, is that the picture you're talking about?
yes,
Okay, that's court exhibit number 72. Next
Thank
question.
you, Your Honor. And you don't know, do you?
Don't know what?
You don't know if that's the same vehicle, is that correct?
I don't know,
But at least when you were questioned about the type of vehicle that picked you up, you used the words, it was like a Hummer, it was like a Jeep, right?
yes,
Now, when you were describing to Deputy Stevens what happened after you had first gotten into the vehicle, you told him that we go into the parking lot into the back, and then he goes, I'm going to I'm going to fuck you, and if you don't, do what I tell you to do, I'm going to kill you right here, right now. Do you remember describing that to Deputy Stevens?
yes,
And you went on to describe what he did when he directed you to get out of the vehicle, when he directed you to remove your clothes, when he directed you over the fence. Do you recall that?
yes,
And you told him the whole, as best you could recall, the whole sequence of events that happened based upon his questioning at that time, right?
yes,
When you were interviewed at the district attorney's office, was one of the first things that we talked to you about on June 12th of 2018, whether or not you would personally be willing to testify in a case if we were able to identify the perpetrator.
Objection, leading, and vouching.
Overruled on both grounds is foundational. You can answer yes or no.
Is that one of the first questions that we asked you?
Yes.
Do you remember having to think about it?
Objection leading.
Sustained. You can ask your next question. I'm about to answer that question.
Thank you, Your Honor. What did you think in response to that question?
If it was the right person that you know, yeah, I think I did say yes, I would, after you questioned me.
At that point in time, did you know who the person was that had done this to you? On June 12th, 2018, before you had ever come to court, before you had ever received any court paperwork?
No, I didn't know until I got the subpoena.
That's what I want to talk to you about now. Do you recall on June 25th of 2018, and I know that these dates are difficult, you've been asked about a lot of specific dates and it's hard to recall, but do you remember when a victim advocate from the district attorney's office and an investigator from the district attorney's office and Kathy Pierce met with you and me to let you know that there had been an arrest in the case? Do you remember that day when we all met together?
Yes, I think so, yes.
Do you remember Investigator Pierce providing you with a subpoena to come to court to testify at the preliminary hearing that the court was referring you to earlier?
Yes.
Was that the first time that you received that subpoena to come to court where it contained any information from anyone about the name of the individual?
That was the first time that I knew, I read it.
And when Investigator Pierce gave you that subpoena for court, did you read the name of the defendant on the subpoena and say that you recognized the name as a football player who had played for the Chargers?
Yes, I did say that.
Now we're talking about June 25th of 2018, 3 months and 4 days after you went to the sheriff's department and told them that a black man driving a black vehicle had picked you up and raped you in the way you described, right?
Yes.
When you went into the sheriff's department on March 21st, you didn't come in and tell them any other name other than the name that was given to you by the person saying that he was from Oceanside and you thought he might be a gang member, right?
Yes.
On the day that this happened, did you want to have sex with the man who had picked you up in his car?
No.
Did you want to be taken to the back of that shopping center against your will?
No.
Did you want to perform oral sex on him?
No.
Would you have done any of those things if he hadn't threatened to kill you?
No.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, can you recross?
Just briefly, in the Jeep, after you gave oral sex to the man, did you say bring it on? Remember that?
I begged him to let me go, and he said, I will after this is done, so.
Did you say bring it on?
I said, bring it on so we can get this, so I can get out of here.
And then further.
All right, anything further?
No, thank you.
All right, can this witness be excused?
She may.
All right, Mr. Carlos?
Your Honor, I don't have access to this witness.
Your Honor, I'm
because-
going to object. And ask to go
Subject to
sidebar.
recall or
Yes.
excused?
I'm asking subject to recall.
All right, ma'am, you are excused for today. You are subject to recall. That means that there's a possibility that you might be called back to testify, so stay in touch with the DA's office. And if you're in need, I'm going to order you back to court if we need you to testify again, okay?
Okay.
But for today, you're done. Thank you very much for your time. Have a nice day. All right, next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The people recall Detective Mike Benavides.
All right? You're still under oath, so you can come on up. All right, and as I indicated, you're still under oath from this morning. All right, so direct examination.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Detective Benavides, have you been present during the testimony of Jane Doe number 1?
Yes.
Now, I'm going to ask you, in addition to some of the things we talked about this morning during your testimony regarding the collection of evidence, I'm going to ask you about some dates and time that relate to your investigation into the reported sexual assault of Jane Doe number 1. Now, was the first contact, based upon your knowledge, the first contact that she had with law enforcement after this incident, March 21st of 2018?
Yes.
Did the deputy who took that report, was that Deputy Stevens?
Yes.
Did you in fact review the recorded interview on a body-worn camera video recorder of the contact between Deputy Stevens and Jane Doe 1?
Yes.
When, as you said this morning, you were assigned the case for follow-up within a couple of days, I think you said March 25th of 2018, was that one of the first things you did?
Yes.
Why was it that you reviewed the initial point of contact interview from the sheriff's deputy with Jane Doe 1?
Just to clarify the statement she provided to Deputy Stevens.
And in terms of you as the sexual assault detective, when you're following up on a crime report, is it fair to say that at least in terms of your experience, that the initial contact for a crime report may be more limited questioning than a follow-up interview?
Yes.
What did you do after reviewing the first recording of Deputy Stevens' interview with Jane Doe 1?
I telephoned Jane Doe number 1, requested to meet with her in person for a formal interview.
Why did you do that?
Just so I can clarify her statement and see if she had any additional information to provide.
And do you recall the date that you first attempted to make contact with Jane Doe 1?
I had to refer to my notes, the exact date.
If that would refresh your recollection
Yes.
as to the efforts you made to contact her and interview her, please do.
March 30th is when I telephoned her.
So if you were assigned the case on March 25th, you reviewed the interview, you attempted to contact her on March 30th, is that right?
Yes.
Now, once you had attempted to contact her, were you successful in actually reaching her initially?
No.
What did you do?
I left her a voicemail, gave her my contact information to call me.
Did you receive a return call?
No.
What did you do after that?
I actually telephoned the area detective at the station to obtain more information about the case.
And after doing that, did you ultimately attempt to contact Jane Doe number 1 again?
Yes.
When did you do that?
I did that on April 18th.
Now, we're talking about over a month after the incident and nearly a month after she first reported it. Did you ever receive any additional contact or any intervening contact from Jane Doe 1 in response to your first voicemail?
No.
Is it fair to say that she wasn't banging down your door trying to find you?
That's correct.
Now, based upon the lack of contact with Jane Doe number 1, was there a decision made to suspend your investigation at a certain point?
Yes.
Now, you were present during the questioning of Jane Doe 1 as related to whether or not she elected to participate in a sexual assault examination. Do you recall that testimony by her?
Yes.
Can you explain to the jury how it is that you explained to a reported victim of sexual assault her options in terms of whether or not she would like to complete a sexual assault exam?
Well, every victim that I have of a sexual assault, we do offer a SART exam with the forensic nurse, and I explain the process as far as the questioning. There's an examination done by the forensic nurse, and when we do bring him or her to the SART facility, that forensic nurse again explains in detail the process.
And do you explain to them at the outset that it is their right to either participate in one or to decline one?
Yes.
Did you ever personally have that conversation with Jane Doe 1 as it related to this case?
As far as offering an assault,
Did you? Yes.
I didn't offer assault because when I watched the body-worn camera, Deputy Stevens had offered the assault.
That was my next question. Was there in fact a time on March 21st when Deputy Stevens, based on your review of the recording, had actually done that already?
Yes, he did.
And did he ask her if she would like to go to the hospital to complete a sexual assault exam?
Yes, he did.
Did she decline?
She declined.
Did he tell her that it was her right to either accept it or to decline it?
Yes.
Now, when, based upon your experience when you're conducting a sexual assault investigation, do you oftentimes see individuals who decline to participate in an assault exam?
Yes.
Have you personally been present during at least the initial portion of a sexual assault exam where the same is explaining to the reported victim that what her options are?
Yes.
And that what the actual process itself entails?
Yes.
Would you characterize it as an invasive physical process?
No, I would not an invasive, it's just a collection of evidence.
Now, at least as it relates to Jane Doe 1, you were never involved in a direct conversation with her about her reasons for not wanting to participate in the sexual assault exam, right?
No.
So then moving forward from the time that you attempted to contact her again in April of 2018, do you recall when it was that the case was formally suspended?
I'm referring to my notes here.
Please do, if it would refresh your recollection as to that date.
On April 26th.
Now, what was it that came to light that reopened that case investigation into the incident that Jane Doe 1 reported?
When there was another reported incident in Encinitas that Detective Johnson had received.
And I think that we discussed it briefly this morning during your testimony, but were you in fact contacted by Detective Johnson, who worked within your same sexual assault unit, about a separately reported stranger rape?
Yes.
You already described what a stranger rape is, but what was it about the separately reported incident that had common characteristics with yours?
The suspect description and the vehicle description.
Do you recall what about the suspect description in your case was similar to the other case?
A light-skinned black male.
Was there a description of tattoos extending from the arm all the way up to the shoulder?
Yes.
Was there a description of the vehicle?
Yes.
And what were the common attributes regarding the description of the vehicle?
A black-colored sports utility vehicle, SUV.
Now, you heard the testimony of Jane Doe 1 and you reviewed the video recording with Deputy Stevens. Did she in fact initially describe the vehicle as a Hummer or like a Jeep?
A Jeep.
And when you spoke to her ultimately on June 12th of 2018, was that in fact the second time that you had personally met with her?
Yes.
Do you recall the specific date that Detective Johnson reached out to you regarding his sexual assault investigation?
I do not.
When was the first time that you met with Jane Doe 1?
When I showed her a photographic lineup and obtained her DNA oral reference swab.
Did that take place on May 17th of 2018?
Yes.
Now, sometime between when Detective Johnson's investigation was initiated and May 17th of 2018 is that about the time frame when you would have had conversations with him about the common features between the two?
Yes.
On May 17th, how did you reach out to Jane Doe 1 and ultimately meet with her?
I called her and requested that she meet with me, and she agreed.
So she answered the phone this time?
Yes.
What do you recall explaining to her what the reason was as to why you wanted to meet with her now?
Well, I told her that we had a similar incident that may or may not be related to her case, and I requested that she use a photographic lineup.
And did you in fact go to meet with her to show her a photographic lineup?
Yes.
How is it that you develop a photographic lineup in order to show to a potential witness?
We have a potential suspect identified, and that person is placed in a set of photographs, of 6 photographs with 5 similar facial characteristics.
At that point in the investigation, did you have a potential suspect identified?
Yes.
Who was it?
Kellen Winslow Jr.
How was it that, and is that the same person you've identified in court?
Yes.
How was it that you had, at least at that point, identified Mr. Winslow as a person of interest, at least within the sheriff's department?
Just based on Detective Johnson's report, or the incident is very similar to my case.
And obviously, we're somewhat out of order chronologically, but was there in fact a positive identification of Kellen Winslow on May 14th of 2018 in that sexual assault investigation?
Referring to Detective Johnson's case?
Yes.
Yes.
So then on May 17th of 2018, as you're meeting with Jane Doe 1, did you attempt to show her a photographic lineup that included a picture of Mr. Winslow?
Yes.
If I may just have one moment to switch over the...
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I approach, Your Honor?
Sure.
Think it's about to work. Now I'm going to show you what's been marked as Court's Exhibit 24 for identification. And after that, Court's Exhibit 25. So first, beginning with Court's Exhibit 24, do you see that there's a large black marks, redacted boxes that are contained on this exhibit?
Yes.
Can you just walk us through what's shown on Court's Exhibit 24 and explain to us what it is that we're looking at, what the title is, and what information it contains, just generally speaking?
It's what the Sheriff's Department uses for a photo lineup, and this particular one is an admonishment that we read every victim. An admonishment explaining what the photographs are about, how to identify them.
Understanding that it would be paraphrased, can you just explain what that admonishment includes?
Basically, essentially it's explaining it's a group of photographs that may or may not be the suspect, and the best of their ability to identify the person, and it may not be the person, the suspect in the group of photographs.
Does it explain to the person that it's just as important to exonerate the innocent person as it would be to identify a guilty?
Yes.
Is that verbally explained to the potential witness at the time that you're giving them that admonishment?
Yes.
Did you personally administer this photo lineup admonishment to Jane Doe 1?
Yes.
And the area that contains the redacted boxes, would that have the name and address and personal identifying information of Jane Doe 1?
Yes.
You see that at the bottom of Court's Exhibit 24 that it has a line that states deputy showing lineup and an entry that's handwritten there?
Yes.
Is that your name?
Yes.
Did you handwrite that?
Yes.
Do you see that there's a date that's associated with this photo lineup admonishment next to the redacted boxes?
Yes.
What's that date?
March 17, 2018.
Would that in fact be May? It has a 5?
May, yes.
Okay. Did you just misspeak accidentally?
I suppose so.
Okay. It happens, we're in court. So now, does it actually have the time that this was administered as well?
Yes.
And it notes that at the bottom, there's an entry and a checkbox where it says, witness did not identify any photo. Is that right?
Correct.
Is that what happened when you in fact showed the 6-pack lineup to Jane Doe 1?
Yes.
Now showing you People's Exhibit 25 for identification. Do you recognize this?
Yes.
What is it?
It's the photo lineup.
Is this the photo lineup that you actually showed to Jane Doe 1?
Yes.
And is Mr. Winslow depicted in any one of the 6 photographs?
Yes.
Where is he?
Number 6?
In terms of how the filler photographs of the other 5 individuals are generated, how does that happen through the Sheriff's Department?
Well, our crime analyst created this photo lineup that she uses. She wants to make sure that the blue background is similar. So she uses, on this particular case, appears to be the California DMV photograph.
And when you say that it appears to be the California DMV photograph, are there various databases that are available to law enforcement to be able to include fillers within a 6-pack lineup when there is a potential suspect?
Yes.
To your knowledge, is photograph number 6 a DMV photo of Mr. Winslow?
I do not know for sure.
Now, once you showed this 6-pack to Jane Doe 1, did she say anything to you about the name of the individual?
No.
Did you have an opportunity to fully interview her based upon what she had told Deputy Stevens when you met with her on May 17th of 2018?
No.
When was the first time that you spoke to her about the details of what happened in person, where you were actually physically present?
It's during our DA victim interview on June 12th.
And you've heard the discussion about the June 12, 2018 date, right?
Yes.
Do you know whether or not that was recorded?
Yes, it was.
And did that interview in fact take place with both you present and District Attorney Investigator Kathy Pierce?
Yes.
Did that interview take place in the Bureau of Investigation in the District Attorney's office here in Vista?
Yes.
Have you had an opportunity to review the recording of that interview?
Yes.
During the course of that interview, did Jane Doe 1 provide a name of the individual that that person used when she first got into his black Jeep style SUV?
Yes.
What was the name that she gave?
She provided 2 names, Deshaun or Michael.
Did she say whether the person who had picked her up in the vehicle had told her where he was from?
Yes.
Where did the person tell her he was from?
Oceanside.
Did she describe him as a black man, but adding that he was light-skinned?
Yes.
Did she describe that he had tattoos that extended from his wrists all the way up to the top of his shoulders?
Yes.
Did she in fact describe those tattoos as resembling a chain or a dog leash of some sort?
Yes.
With respect to the clothing that the individual wore, did she say that he was wearing a black one-piece outfit similar to a bodysuit?
Yes.
Did she say that he had a yellow or orange t-shirt that he was wearing over the bodysuit?
Yes.
Did she describe what sorts of shorts what type of shorts he was wearing in addition to the bodysuit?
I don't recall her saying anything about shorts.
Now, when she was describing him physically, his physical description, did she say that he was buff, like a bodybuilder?
Yes.
With respect to the things that the man said to her, other than identifying himself with the names that she gave, saying he was from Oceanside, did she in fact say that they made some small talk about St. Patrick's Day?
Yes.
Did she say in that interview on June 12th, before ever having come to court, did she say that the man had threatened to kill her?
Yes.
Did she say that that happened as she was passing the high school shortly after she first got into the vehicle when his demeanor changed?
Yes.
Now, did she tell you in the June 12th interview that she began to beg him to let her out of the car?
Yes.
Did she say that he needed to drop her off?
Yes.
And did he tell her that he was not going to let her go, he was going to have sex with her?
Yes.
Did she say that he continued to drive her against her will and go into the Vaughn's parking lot?
Yes.
Did she describe the shopping center?
I believe she described it as Vaughn's shopping center.
Did she say that there was a Rite Aid there?
Yes.
Did she say that there were other businesses there?
They have 24-hour fitness and place where you wash clothes or something.
Okay. That's your best recollection of your review of that interview
Yeah.
itself, correct?
Yes.
Did she in fact describe the sequence of events where he had threatened to kill her and told her to get out of the car?
Yes.
Did she talk about how he told her to get over the fence?
Yes.
Did she tell you that he directed her to remove her clothing?
Yes.
Did she tell you that he threatened to kill her in the vehicle?
Yes.
Did she say that when she had gone over the fence and she could see the freeway with cars passing by, that she thought that he might throw her into the oncoming traffic?
I don't recall that statement.
Do you remember her saying anything about the cars that were passing by?
No.
Now, once she was out there on the other side of the fence, did she describe what the man then did after she had removed her pants?
As far as what he, can you rephrase that question? I'm not sure what you're asking.
What did he tell her to do after he had removed his pants and was on the other side of the fence near the freeway?
I believe he told her to remove her clothing.
After she had removed her clothing, did she say that he changed his mind?
Yes.
What did she say he then said?
Something about we can't do this here, or let's go back to the vehicles. I'm not sure exactly what was said.
Something to that effect?
Yes.
And did she then say she went back over the fence and got back in the vehicle with him?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor, this is leading, this is improper rehabilitation. These statements haven't been impeached.
Sustained. Next
Now-
question.
Once she got back into the vehicle, what did she say happened?
Same objection, Your Honor.
Overruled, subject to a motion to strike. Go ahead. You're asking what she told this detective on June 12th, correct?
Yes, Your Honor, and it would be a prior consistent statement based upon the cross-examination.
All right, well, let's see. Go ahead.
He requested for Jane Doe to give him a blowjob.
And do you recall if she used that term or if that's just the way that you were describing it?
I don't recall exactly what the word she used.
Something that indicated oral sex?
Yes.
Did she say that he had threatened her once she had gotten back into the vehicle?
I don't recall if there were additional threats after that.
So then what did she say happened once she had gotten back into the vehicle?
Same objection, Your Honor.
Overruled, subject to a motion to strike. You can answer.
I recall she said she performed oral sex for a couple minutes, and then that's when he climbed over on top of her.
Do you recall how she said that he climbed over on top of her when
Yes.
he did?
Yes.
How did she describe that?
And he climbed over on top of her, and that's when he put his penis into her vagina.
Did she say that he had pressed his arm down on the right side of her neck?
I don't recall if that was said during our conversation.
Now, did she say that she in fact bled as a result of the penis being placed inside of her vagina?
Yeah, yes.
Now, after meeting with her and talking to her on June 12th of 2018, was that the same day that you actually collected her underwear and pants that she had worn?
Yes.
Did you ask her whether or not she had ever washed those pants?
Yes.
What did she say?
She said yes. She washed them, and they were in a hamper mixed with other clothing.
Do you recall whether or not you ever asked her or she ever said anything about whether she had worn them at any point in time since the incident?
I've never asked her that.
You were present for her testimony today, then, correct?
Yes,
And did you ask her if she would be willing to provide you with those clothes on June 12th of 2018?
yes.
And how did you then retrieve those clothes?
After our interview here, we drove to her residence, but she actually had me park a couple blocks away. She didn't want me to enter her residence or her family member to know what was going on. So she agreed to provide the clothes to me if she went in there and packaged them and handed them over to me. She came back to my vehicle while I waited.
Was I actually the person who asked her if she still had her pants?
Yes,
Was I actually the person who asked her if she would be willing to provide them to law enforcement?
yes,
Was I actually the person who asked her if she had washed them?
I believe so.
When she was willing to provide her pants, you were the person who then went and recovered them from her home, right?
Yes,
Did you impound them in the way that you described this morning?
yes,
And at that point in time, when we met with her on June 12th of 2018, she still didn't know who had done this, right?
correct.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, Cross?
Complete, Your Honor. Officer Benavidez, you called Jane Doe 1 first and weren't able to get a hold of her, is that right?
Correct.
And then you called a local area detective to get more information, is that right?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask that we approach sidebar. Or perhaps adjourn for the day.
I can move on, Your Honor, and we can deal with that.
That's an issue we need to finish addressing. I don't know how far you were gonna go into this.
I got a lot of other stuff that if you want to use.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into the other stuff.
And then
Thank
we
you very
can
much,
deal
Your
with
Honor.
that in the morning.
Sure.
Okay. Well, you're the lead detective in this case, right?
One of the two.
One of the two, but you're the follow-up guy, right?
Yes,
And you did a report in this case.
yes,
And reports are very important because that's where you document the evidence, right?
yes,
Okay. And you document victim statements, right?
yes,
And any other evidence that you may discover.
yes,
Okay. And you documented in your report that Jane Doe 1 told you she was menstruating at the time, right?
Objection, misstate, or assumes facts not in evidence, misstates the evidence.
Well, it's a question, so overruled. You can answer the question. Go ahead.
When I spoke to her, it was more of a clarification. I actually asked her if she was menstruating. She said she was not.
But you documented in your report that Jane Doe 1 recalled she was menstruating. That's what you documented in your report,
Objection,
right?
calls for hearsay.
Overruled.
I document, it should have been in a background investigation. I read it from Deputy Stevens' report. I usually put that in the background
Your
of my
Honor,
report.
Same
and then-
objection.
All right, sustained. That answer will be stricken. The answer was whether it was in your report and whether she told you. So the jury will disregard that last statement regarding what this witness read from Deputy Stevens' report. That entire answer is stricken from the record, treated as though you didn't hear it. All right, next question.
So when you say you put this in your report, you actually copied from Deputy Stevens' report, is that correct?
No, it's more of a background information on my report, just as a reference.
Well, background information is important for you, right?
Yes,
And you documented in your background information that Jane Doe 1 said she was menstruating, is that right?
Same
Yes.
objection.
All right, it's being offered for its truth or as an inconsistent or consistent statement, but this is not the source of the information. So the objection will be sustained, the jury will disregard the answer. And it looks like we have at least 12 minutes of discussions to have about this, so why don't we go ahead and excuse the jury for the day. The court staff has a lot of work to do once you leave the courthouse, so we're gonna go ahead and take an early break today, and we'll be back at it tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Please remember the admonition, don't discuss the case with anybody. Please don't look at any news